What is going on, guys? Eagle Aquatics back here, and in today's video I am gonna be going over the new build, why I haven't been on YouTube for almost 2 years, and just what's all been going on, and explain why I haven't been filming or doing much on YouTube at all, even with aquariums. So as you guys see, this is gonna be the new build, but before I get into it, I want to go over why I haven't been on for so long and what's been going on and everything, you know what I'm saying. So it comes down to me being in school, trying to find work, doing all that stuff, and just being way too busy to focus on fish tanks and YouTube in general. That's why I haven't been on YouTube in forever. I think my last video was 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years at this point. Was on plumbing or something on the old 125 gallon reef tank setup. But as you guys know, the old build, it kind of fell after I had that occurrence with the impeller rusting out of my old protein skimmer. It killed most of the tank, most of the coral, everything out of there. So it was basically limping for the last couple of years. So that old tank's only been down for probably 5 months at this point, because I took it down because I didn't have time for it, and it was just too far gone to really resurrect for what I wanted to do. And other reason I've been too busy is because we moved. This is actually a brand new house, and this is a different location. It might look like the location from the last house, kind of the staircase, the main wall, you know, the family rooms over here. So it's in the general same area as the new house, which we're in right now, as the old house was. But it's completely different by now. But yeah, I was away at school. I wasn't home much. I just came home every couple weeks to do water changes on the tank, just pretty much keep the fish alive and keep it running. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have time to record, and there was really nothing to record. I mean, just nothing interesting going on. I wasn't spending money or doing anything with it. I was just too busy. But now I have a secure job back at home, so I have time to work on this. And we pretty much just moved into the new house. My dad, I don't know, I've talked about it on live streams and stuff like that. He does construction and stuff like that, so he builds houses. So we move every couple of years. So this is our newest build. House. I actually helped construct it, so that's another reason why I haven't been on here. Helping build the house, helping getting a job, finishing school. I'm done with school, so I'm home for a good while now. So I have time to do a completely new setup, plummet, totally different. It's gonna be pretty insane. That's all I gotta say. But that's basically why I haven't been doing much on YouTube for a while. And I just really been too busy and doing that. So now I finally have time doing it again. And this is going to be the new setup. So it is a completely different tank. The stand is the same. We refinished it. The doors aren't on it now because we're working on the plumbing, which you guys will see in a future video. But we had to replace some trim pieces from water damage, and so where I was keeping the tank. Because when we were moving, we weren't staying at our old house. We were staying at somebody else's house. And I had to keep this tank and stand running at my grandparents' house. And it was on carpet, so, you know, at water changes and stuff, the carpet got wet around the tank and ruined some of the trim down there. So we had to replace that. Repainted the whole stand, the canopy's there. We repainted it. It's all the same. The tank, however, is totally different. I actually sold my old tank, which was an Aqueon style 125 gallon. As you guys know, the overflows are in the middle. They're in the middle of the tank. As much as I like that, it's a cool tank and everything, but I felt like those overflows took up too much room and inhibited the aquascaping abilities of rockscaping the reef tank. So I always wanted to try a corner overflow tank, which was made by Marineland. Marineland makes corner overflows. Aqueon makes middle overflows. So I managed to find a used 125 gallon Marineland glass aquarium. This aquarium has the corner overflows, which I've always wanted to try. It has dual corner overflows, dual outputs. Having this style tank really opens up a lot more possibilities with scaping the aquarium, because the whole middle of the tank is completely open. There's no overflow jutting out like friggin' 5 or 6 inches. So they're really minimalistic in the corner. I really like how the tank's designed. I'm gonna have a lot more room. We could do a lot more interesting scapes and stuff like that. Or we could have a lot more interesting scape, I should say, if we do it that way. I've always wanted to try it this way, so that's why I got this. So I sold the old tank, bought this one, and we made modifications to the stand to work with it. See that cutout right there, if you could see it? That is where the old overflow was, and that's where the piping went through the stand. We had to cut into the top of the stand for these new overflows on the corner. Not a huge deal. We had to redo the plumbing anyway. And the other cool thing about this tank, it only has one center brace instead of the Aqueon that has 2, which is cool. It gives more accessibility to the tank. The light output could be a lot better. It's not blocked by 2 braces either way. But yeah, this is a used tank, really good shape, minimal scratches, re-siliconed a few parts like the sides. You know, the silicone wipes away every now and then, but it's in really, really good shape. So this is going to be a super cool tank. I can't wait to create a scape in here. It's going to be pretty cool because I have a lot more room. The tank should look a little bigger because I'm able to push the rocks back towards more of the glass. So I got a lot more room in front of the rocks where you had to escape around those overflows in the old tanks. So it's going to be really freaking cool. This is the old Zet light that I had running on the old tank, which we're going to be reusing that. We're going to be reusing the Kessels, so the 2 Kessels on both sides. It's going to be the same lighting setup for now. This is cool. This is a Vortec MP60. This, I got a killer deal. Actually came with this tank when I bought it. I got a really, really freaking good deal on this tank, and it came with a Vortec MP60, which this is the biggest, baddest Vortec that you could buy. It's an older one, but I tested it out. It works perfectly. I think I need a new wet side for it because it's showing some signs of rust around the impeller, and I don't need to be messing with that again, so I'll probably replace that. It's like $170 or so, but that's like an $800 pump, so more than worth it. We will be using this on this tank, and that should be the sole wave maker to power this whole tank, so we'll be hooking that up, so that's going to be awesome. Never used one before, really, really curious to see how it is. The background of this tank was already painted black. Previous owner painted the overflow boxes black too, which I thought was cool. I don't want to give too much away with the plumbing. I'll just give you guys a glance. I'm already filming a video for that, so it's super freaking cool. But as you guys could see, there's no sump underneath the stand. The sump is going to be in the basement. It's going to be a basement sump system. This is going to be freaking cool. If you guys remember, if any, I know a lot of you guys always watch my live streams that I did a couple years back. I often did live streams, and I always talked about wanting to do a basement sump and planning a basement sump for the next house, which is this one, for the next build. And we made it happen. So this is going to be a basement sump. I'm going to go down there, show you guys what we're going to be doing. But I just got my supplies spread around here. That's the ballast for the Zet light. Controller for the Kessels. The Kessels are in the corner. We're working on it. We're building it right now. But I'm not going to give away too much of the plumbing. But as you guys can see, it goes into the wall and down to the basement. So we got the 2 drains and then the return right here. Let's go see the basement. So we come down to the basement, and again, I'm not going to explain too much on the pipes, but they come down from the floor over to here, which is going to be the next fish room. Keep in mind, it's a mess down here. We're still moving in, but this is going to be the sump. This right here. I'll flip my light on. Here I got a light up on the ceiling there. This is going to be the sump. That's right. This is, if you guys remember, if you're true original subscribers of the channel, this was the 125-gallon freshwater tank that we used to have in our old basement. I wasn't interested in freshwater anymore, wanted to get out of it. My brother lost interest in the freshwater aquarium stuff too. He doesn't do it anymore. So I decided, why not use this tank for a sump? And you guys might say, oh, that's a waste of a 125-gallon tank and stuff like that. This thing is kind of a piece of junk. It holds water perfectly fine. The frame's all good and everything, but this thing is scratched so unbelievably badly that it's not even funny. Well, I didn't do this. We bought it from a friend who never cleaned the glass right. It was a freaking mess. It's scratched so bad it's not even funny. You know, I couldn't sell this thing. I wouldn't get anything for it because it's so scratched. So I said, why not turn it into a sump? So I'm going to turn this thing into a sump. This is going to be the basement sump for the 125-gallon tank upstairs. So this is going to be super cool. I'm going to be filming a video on how to build a giant sump like this and how to plumb a basement sump. So stay tuned for that. So I'm reusing the stand that this tank was on, so it can be up in the air for me. But yeah, this is going to be a 125-gallon sump, basement sump. It's going to be full halfway, which is probably around 50-60 gallons. That's my guess. We've started the plumbing down here. We're getting it moving. It's coming down. It's going to jut all the way over here, dump down here into the filter sock, which I still have to hang on here somehow. And there's going to be 3 chambers here. There's going to be a chamber here, sump, skimmer, whatever, reactors, stuff like that. There's going to be a huge refugium here, full of Chaeto and all kinds of different stuff. And then this is going to be the 3rd chamber. That's where the pump input's going to be, and maybe a bunch of, I don't know, biological media, rocks, rock rubble, stuff like that. We already drilled the tank, as you guys will see in the next video. So I got a bulkhead there, a screen on the end of it. That's going to be the input for the pump. I'm going to be using an external pump on this setup. That's a Pan World, I believe, external pump. The best in the business, pretty much. For that, we're going to build a platform here, so it's kind of up parallel to the output of the bulkhead right here. It's going to be stationed there, and then we're going to pipe up to the other pipe, which is right there, and it's going to shoot back up to the tank. So it's going to be absolutely insane, guys. So this is going to be a crazy setup. External pump, 125-gallon sump. It's gonna be freaking insane. So, and I of course hung the posters that were in the old basement, and I also got the RO system back up and running. We got a sink right next to the sump, so I should be able to do my water changes out of the sump and just drain it in here. It's gonna be so easy to work on. It's gonna be great. So this is the new fish room, sump room. It's gonna be awesome. Already filming videos on it, so stay tuned. I got a plumbing video coming. I'm going to film a video on the sump as well as starting this build. So there's still a lot of work to get done. Plumbing is almost finished. We just got to finish the plumbing downstairs, build the sump, and then I could start working on it. Buying the stand, filling it with water, all that stuff. So it's going to be freaking amazing, guys. I got plans for this tank. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I don't want to do big species again. Not really. Maybe a few tangs in this tank, but I want to keep it small. Having that big sump downstairs enables me to stock a lot of fish in here. So I'm thinking a lot of smaller species. A ton of them. And I want a few tangs, but nothing big, no more puffers, What else did I have? The triggerfish, aggressive species. You know, I want it to be a peaceful tank. I want to be able to keep shrimp in here again. I want to be able to keep all the invertebrates, all the cool little things. And then, of course, coral. We're going to have a ton of coral in here, too. So it's going to be a epic build. Like, this could be, you know, one of the best setups on YouTube. I don't know. But you guys are going to have to let me know what you think. What do you think we should do with this tank? Stocking, coral, just shoot me ideas. And tell me what you think about the basement setup. Because it's not a thing I've seen done very often on YouTube. So figure we'll give it a try. Let me know what you guys think about the build. And I guess I should mention what I did with the old tank and all the livestock inside of it. So as you guys know, I had that pump failure on my old skimmer that released a bunch of rust into the tank. That already killed most of my coral that I had, a lot of the inverts, stuff like that. When I broke down the tank when we moved out of the old house, I reset it back up in my grandparents' house, thinking I'd want to keep everything alive and transfer it all over to this tank that was going to be in this house. It was only a few corals. I think I had the big leather coral, just a few other leathers and mushrooms, but nothing crazy. And I had the tube anemone still, and just a few fish. I didn't have a lot of them. A lot of them died because I had a internal parasite spreading around my tank. It kept emaciating the fish, and they kept dying off. I think the only surviving fish water was perfect after that, but the internal parasite got most of the rest of the fish. The fish I had left were the maroon clown. I had the hippo tang still. I gotta think. I had the Melanaris wrasse. Just a few. There wasn't much. Just the main big ones. So I actually took them to the fish store, and they found good homes there. I know the guy, so he sold them to people with big tanks, stuff like that. I had to make sure of that. So they're all probably doing really good. I hated to get rid of the hippo tang and the maroon clown, but I had to. It wasn't worth keeping the tank running, and I had new plans of what I was going to do with this one, so I just didn't want to hang up. And then I broke down the tank, sold the tank itself, kept the stand, bought this one, and here it sits now. So I got a lot of new plans. So it's going to be pretty freaking cool, guys. You really should stay tuned to the build. I'm going to be coming at you with videos on how to do all this, setting up the tank, all that stuff. And I should be back for a while, at least. So relatively consistent uploads as much as I can. So yeah, I got a lot of ideas. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe and share the video. Bring my channel back to life. And I'll see you guys in the next video.